Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating World Cleanup Day with the theme for the World Cleanup Day 2024, Arctic Cities and Marine Litter. The theme of the inaugural event taking place on 20th September in the city of Tromsø, Norway, in Arctic Cities and Marine Litter. The event convened with support from the UN Habitat, GRID Adrenal, the Norway Retailers Environment Fund, and in collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development, the Municipality of Tromsø, the Fram Center, and Let's Do It World aims to inspire global communities, adapt sustainable practices that protect the Arctic regions. The Arctic's delicate ecosystem necessitates focused efforts on plastic and marine litter cleanup. Cities like Tromsø with the Arctic Circle face unique challenges due to extreme weather, isolation, and costly infrastructure. The inaugural World Cleanup Day in Tromsø showcases Norway's innovative waste management strategies tailored to harsh climates. The event highlighted the role of innovation, community involvement, and collaboration in creating sustainable waste systems that protect the Arctic environment and contribute to global waste reduction efforts. It also emphasizes the importance of professional cleanups and innovative funding mechanisms in tackling waste management challenges in complex urban settings. Municipal solid waste generation is predicted to grow from 2.1 billion tons in 2023 to 3.8 billion tons by 2050, as per the estimates of UNEP Global Waste Management Outlook 2024. Without urgent action on waste management by 2050, the global direct cost of waste management could almost double to a staggering of US dollars 640.3 billion, as per UNEP Global Waste Management Outlook 2024. More than 2 billion people lack access to water collection, more than 3 billion to control waste recovery or disposable facilities, as per UNDP. Poor waste management is intrinsically linked to the triple planetary crisis: pollution, biodiversity loss, and climate change. Combined, the world is greatly accelerated an accumulation of waste and air pollution in all ecosystems and threatening ecosystems balances and health. On 8th December 2023, the United Nations General Assembly, in its 78th session, unanimously adopted Resolution 78 by 122, World Cleanup Day, which proclaims 20th September as World Cleanup Day. The resolution invites all member states, organizations of the United Nations system, other international and regional organizations, and other relevant stakeholders, including civil society, the private sector, and academia, to observe World Cleanup Day through activities aimed at raising awareness of the role cleanup efforts play in sustainable development. The United Nations Human Settlements Program, UN Habitat, facilitates the observance of this day. Over the years, many national, regional, and local governments and communities have been undertaking cleanup activities globally. World Cleanup Day represents the reflection on their achievements. This cleanup serves as a reminder of the collective responsibility we share in preserving and maintaining a clean and healthy environment, as well as sustainable waste and resource management. Cities are responsible for 70% of global carbon dioxide emissions, with transport, buildings, energy, and waste management accounting for the bulk of urban emissions. By 2050, two-thirds of our global population will live in urban areas. Nearly 90% of the growth in urban population will occur in Asia and Africa. Accelerating urban action for a carbon-free world. UNDP climate features the 5 Malaysian cities taking an integrated approach to low carbon development. Let's watch a short video.
What do you picture first when thinking of the Arctic? Perhaps it's pristine ice and landscapes as far as the eye can see, an intact and uncontaminated nature? Or wildlife like polar bears, whales, and reindeer? Well, you're right, but this is not the entire truth. Even though it is a magnificent place, marine litter has reached all corners of the Arctic region. Marine litter results from human activities both on land, such as Arctic cities, and at sea. Also, ocean currents can transport litter into the Arctic from distant sources. So, what can we do about this? Join us as we discuss this important issue at the inaugural World Cleanup Day in Tromsø, the 20th of September.
jointly published with the International Solid Waste Management, in short known as ISWA, the report Global Waste Management Outlook 2024 provides an update on global waste generation and the cost of waste and its management since 2018. The analysis uses life cycle assessments to explore what the world could gain or lose through continuing business as usual. Adopting halfway So this analysis uses life cycle assessments to explore what the world could gain or lose through continuing business as usual, adopting halfway measures or committing fully to zero waste and circular economy societies. The report also evaluates three potential scenarios of municipal waste generation and management, examining their impacts on society, the environment, and the global economy. Furthermore, it represents potential strategies for waste reduction and enhanced management following their waste hierarchy to treat all waste materials as valuable resources. So, municipal solid waste generation is predicted to grow from 2.1 billion tons in 2023 to 3.8 billion tons in 2050. In 2020, the global direct cost of waste management was an estimated 252 billion. When factoring in the hidden costs of pollution, poor health, and climate change from poor waste of disposal practices, the cost rises to USD 361 billion. Without urgent action on waste management by 2050, this global annual cost could almost double to a staggering US dollars 643.3 billion. So the report modeling shows that the getting waste under the control by taking waste prevention and management measures could limit net annual costs by 2050 to US dollars 272.2 billion. However, projection shows that a circular economy model where waste generation and economic growth are decoupled by adopting waste avoidance, sustainable business practices, and full waste management could in fact lead to full net gain of US dollars 108.5 billion per year. So we need to act now in order to avoid the worst scenario. The report provides guidance and suggested actions for multinational development banks, national governments, municipalities, producers, and retailers, the waste management sector, as well as citizens. The waste management assessment can be done by Waste Wise Cities tool, in short known as WACT, guides readers through 7 steps to collect data on municipal and solid waste generated, collected, and managed in controlled facilities. The tool provides a household survey guide for a total MSW municipal solid waste generation, a questionnaire to identify the MSW recovery chain, and a criteria to check environmental control level of waste management facilities in the city. Today, we are also commemorating few international days and other commemorations. This week is commemorated as International Week of Happiness at Work in US from September 20 to 25. Every year, the Public Domain Initiative raises awareness of several actions to help improve employee happiness at work. These actions help employees feel happier at their place of work and as a result have positive effects on the health, well-being, and productivity. No doubt that happiness is a key to success. In life, emotions are part of the human mind and what we experience daily, and they influence our behavior as much as they affect other people. Research has shown that positive emotions promote creativity, well-being, bonding, and physical health. Employee satisfaction is an essential factor in a company's performance. and productivity. Happy employees make for more productive workplaces. A satisfied employee will think positively about the business, work harder, and contribute to firm's overall goals. Back in 1960s, when a select group of economists and psychologists began advocating for more holistic approach to productivity in the workplace, these researchers believed that traditional models of work were failing to capture how human beings operate and actively stifle them. In 1969, Arthur Jano published The Primal Scream, an influential book about mental health that included an appendix about primal therapy groups for business. It was one of the earliest known applications of psychology in a professional setting. Abraham Maslow published Motivation and Personality in 1977, which explored the concept of self actualization in workers and how it could be attained through fulfilling needs at various stages of his hierarchy of needs concept. Matt G. Wolfs and Fenedy van der Meulen, two Dutch women, started the International Week of Happiness at Work in 2017. They are the founders of Happy Office, which introduces a program that allows you to incorporate happiness into the workplace to have happier employees. So the holistic approach to productivity at work in 1960s, researchers find that traditional models of work fail to capture human expression. The self-actualization of workers. In 1954, Abraham Maslow publishes Motivation and Personality, exploring self-actualization in workers. Author Jono publishes The Primal Scream, a book on primal therapy for businesses, the applications of psychology in the workplace in 1970. Matt G. Wolf and Fenedy van der Meulen started the International Week of Happiness at Work in 2007. How do you define happiness at work? It has to do with how well an employee likes the job and how proud they are of their work. When the people are positive, they keep trying new things, feel brave about brainstorming new ideas, and stay excited about going to work. This is tied to job satisfaction and organizational commitment. Of the two, job satisfaction is more important in predicting how committed employees are to their organizations. If there isn't an office bowling league already, why not start one? You could also check out local restaurants or live music venues for other opportunities to do something fun together, or even an office-wide dance party. Or bring some snacks to share with your coworkers. When we are hungry, our moods are not the best. Instead of having an empty stomach day at work, why not bring in some healthy snacks to share? It will help you feel energized and upbeat throughout the day. And it will be a pleasant surprise for your coworkers too. Get competitive by organizing games events. Set up a table with board games and card games so that people can play casually throughout the day during their break time. The average person will work 1 lakh hours over their lifetime. Half the time they are awake and half the time they sleep. So we spend huge amounts of time working. Americans are not fond of their jobs. A Gallup poll found that only 13% of the workers in the US are happy in their jobs. About 40% of employees said that they would take a pay cut if they could bring their dog to work every day. So people want to spend time with their pets. The majority of employees will notice the cleanliness and organization of their workspace, which is important to workers. Americans are bad at taking breaks. They skip vacation time or take less time off than they are entitled to do so to avoid being slackers. Remember to live happy lives. It is meant to serve as a reminder to live happier lives and be more positive. Happiness at work helps us to do better work and feel good about our jobs. And that's why we all should be trying to create more happiness and happier workplaces. It's an opportunity to think about how we respond to the challenges that lie ahead. It causes us to find ways to positively shape our working environment so that we can thrive and grow. It is also important because it gives people and organizations a chance to share own stories and experiences of creating a happy workplace. We all must support each other in our joint mission to help more people to find happiness at work. Today is also commemorated as German World Children's Day on September 20, which is the official Children's Day of Germany, one of two Children's Day recognized in Germany. Every year, while all Germans agree that celebrating their youngest citizens is a grand idea, they don't all agree when to do it. While two Children's Days are recognized in Germany, both days are celebrated, but not by everyone. And the official day, German's World Children's Day, is not celebrated unilaterally by German families. When to celebrate its children is a source of contention deeply rooted in German's history. To understand this divide requires a shallow dive into Germany's not too distant past. It's a dive worth making because it ultimately reminds us how important it is to overlook our political biases and come together for the sake of planet's most precious resource, our children. The story of Germany's Two Children's Day begins in 1954 after World War II, when two independent and separate German states existed. Each East Germany and West Germany, the United Nations General Assembly resolved that year for all countries to celebrate a Universal Children's Day, promoting international togetherness and improving the welfare of the children worldwide. Although the UN resolution designated November 20 as Universal Children's Day, at the same time, they also suggested that each individual country should select a meaningful date appropriate for their own people to celebrate as Universal Children's Day. Consequently, some countries choose to celebrate their children on November 20, but many countries elected to celebrate Universal Children's Day on other dates throughout the year. So West Germany chose to organize Universal Children's Day as Weltkindertag or World Children's Day on September 10, 1954 in response to UN's Universal Children's Day resolution. At the same time, East Germany chose not to recognize Universal Children's Day at all, but instead continued to celebrate International Kindertag or International Children's Day on June 1st, a holiday East Germans had been celebrating since 1926, long before World War II. If you are familiar with the post-war German history, you would probably see where these choices lead when unification takes place in 1990. To confuse matters more, the UN changed the name of their November 20 Universal Children's Day to World Children's Day, sometime along with the timeline, although we are not exactly sure when. So German's Children's Day is also known as Universal Children's Day by former West German families. Confused? So are we. But here's the good news. Although Germany today officially recognizes only one official Children's Day, two Children's Day still exist and both are celebrated. So children's win. Today is also commemorated as National Crime and Intelligence Analyst Appreciation Day in US on September 20, which honors the work of crime and intelligence analysts in the US, and it could not come at a better time. Here's why. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there are currently over 3 million federal, state, and local law enforcement officers working across the country. With so many people dedicated to protecting the country, it can be easy for analysts to feel overlooked. However, without hard work of these analysts, police officers wouldn't be able to do their jobs as effectively, and this is especially true today. Today is also commemorated as NFT Day, NFTs are future of digital ownership, and September 20 has been officially recognized as International NFT Day. On this day in 2017, the term NFT, non-fungible token, was officially coined by Dapper Labs Chief Technology Officer Dave Shirley in the form of ERC 721 standard. Since then, NFTs have become not only an industry of their own, but a cultural phenomenon where communities are built and people come together, featuring incredible sports moments, breathtaking art, passionate communities, and innovative ideas. Digital expressions has taken a new meaning with NFTs and continues to have a huge cultural as well as industrial impact. International NFT Day is all about celebrating the creators and collectors in the NFT community. It's also a day for people to learn about NFTs and get started with their own collection. For starters, NFTs are unique cryptographic tokens or digital collectibles on blockchain. Creating an NFT is referred to as minting, and the ability to possess NFTs is secure, verifiable, and in total control of the owner. Any digital asset can become an NFT images, art, music, videos, and the list is endless. Today is also commemorated as National Tradesman Day in US, which takes place on third Friday in September. And this year on September 20, it calls for tradesmen in the country to be celebrated and honored for their essential services. A country could have all the sources, but it wouldn't matter if people with the right skill set are not there to put sources to the right use. Tradesmen, both men and women, are one such group of people who ensure that sources are used correctly for a nation to live in a comfortable life. From plumbers and electricians to technicians and builders, these people maintain their respective industry services. This day is a celebration of their various trade jobs. Without them, no nation would be able to build itself up. In fact, at any given time, there are 0.5 million jobs vacant in the market. The tradesman industry has always been one of the fastest growing markets throughout the years. Today is also commemorated as National String Cheese Day in US, which gives us an opportunity to celebrate. If you have ever tasted the stringy deliciousness of this snack, then you know it's no wonder it has its own holiday. String cheese refers to variations of cheese where the proteins are aligned to make the cheese stringy. When heated up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit and stretched, the milk proteins in mozzarella cheese line up, making it possible to peel strips or strings from the main block of cheese. Today is also commemorated as National Queso Day in US. So almost any cheese lover will tell you that the world got a little better the day that chili con queso dip got invented. Chili con queso, or queso for short, is a delicious cheese dip that finds a home in a great deal of Tex-Mex cooking. Queso originates from Chihuahua, a state located in the north of Mexico. There's a good chance you won't find a whole lot of kind of queso dip that we know and love offered up at restaurants in Mexico. But restaurants all throughout the US serve up this delicatable vat of cheesy goodness. Today is also commemorated as National Punch Day in US. Punch is a sort of old school meaning. It's not really soda, not really juice, and not completely a cocktail. It's a punch. We love it so much, especially on National Punch Day every September 20. Break out for favorite punch bowl and celebrate with different colored concoctions. We have sailors of the British East India Company to thank for popularizing the spread of punch, which originated somewhere in India. Thanks to the rise in sea level travel during 1600s, the popularity of this delicious drink began to spread. Today, punch seems to be a more celebratory drink served at special occasions, whether store bought or homemade. One thing is for sure, punch is outrageously good, especially on National Punch Day. Today is also commemorated as National POW MIA Recognition Day in US, which is observed on third Friday of September on September 20 this year to recommit full accountability to the families of more than 80,000 veterans captured or still missing from wars that the United States has participated in. According to accounts, during the first ceremony of POW MIA Day at National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., fighter airplanes from the military base in Virginia flew in the missing man formation in their honor. Today is also commemorated as National Fried Rice Day in US. This observance encourages everyone to indulge in their preferred version of fried rice, prepared with long grained rice, onions, carrots, peas. This tasty meal is a quintessential guilty pleasure. Whether your preferred version contains vegetarian or non-vegetarian, today is a perfect time to enjoy. Fried rice takes center stage today as a flavor captures our hearts and keep us wanting more. Today is also commemorated as National Concussion Awareness Day in US, which is recognized on the third Friday of each September yearly and will be recognized on 20 September this year. Concussions are commonly associated with sports accidents, but are also brought on by other non-sporting activities like motor vehicle collisions, falls, sports injuries, and bicycle accidents. National Concussion Awareness Day is acknowledged by the Brain Injury Association of America. The day is registered with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Concussions have rapidly become a plague in the United States, with increased cases of mild traumatic brain injuries happening each year. Traumatic brain injuries are classified as head injuries or injury to the part of the head resulting from damage to the brain by an external mechanical force or stroke or infection. Concussion as a mild form of traumatic brain injury is a head injury that temporarily affects the functioning of the brain. Regardless of its severity, if left undiagnosed and untreated, concussions are easily overlooked and thus require an immediate and thoroughly evaluation by a qualified medical provider to rule out life-threatening head injuries or injuries to other parts of the system. Symptoms of a concussion last up to 2 weeks, can result in changes in mood and displays and unusual emotions. The objective of National Concussion Awareness Day is to create an opportunity for healthcare practitioners, caretakers, and sufferers alike to have an open discussion on this issue. The goal is also to generate an increased circulation of information on the case to further educate general public. Today is also commemorated as National Care for Kids in US, which takes place on September 20, which is a great occasion to build a better environment for our children. The day aims to encourage our communities to understand how different aspects of life can affect their adulthood and entire future. For instance, a child that grows up in a violent atmosphere, constantly seeing the parents fighting, is more likely to be aggressive as an adult, while others in such an environment often face problems with depression. That is why the importance of caring for a child's mind, body, and soul is highlighted in this day. So with this, we shall conclude today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us. See you all tomorrow at the same time. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form raised in the form of quotes.